in looking at how I'd revise rivers, what I would do is I'd break it down into categories. I always recommend this for every topic. So if it comes to like rainforests, if it comes to natural hazards, when it comes to rivers, break it down into topics. So the first thing I would look at is kind of what that video was on yesterday. So key definitions, make sure you know the key definitions. What is erosion? What are the 4 types of erosion? What are the 4 types of transportation? What is a levee and how is it formed? What is a floodplain, for example? Those kind of things. Once you kind of know the key terms, that makes life a lot easier when it comes to potential 4 and 6 markers, but also 1 and 2 markers too. On that note, a couple I forgot in the video yesterday is floodplain. So that is where, in the lower course where it's flat, the river floods, and as it floods, obviously there's little stones in it, and they get dropped and deposited on the river banks and the land next to the river, and that forms a floodplain. Kind of like bits of mud, bits of sand, bits of dirt build up and form a floodplain. And also, one I forgot yesterday was interlocking spurs. So interlocking spurs are basically when the river carves its way down the landscape, and rather than going straight, it will bend around the areas of hard rock, taking the easier option. It can go through the soft rock. Once it hits the hard rock, it'll be like diverted around it and bend, and that's what interlocking spurs are. Not the bends, but the bits of kind of landscape that are sticking out into the river, effectively. So that's the first thing. Know your key terms, know your definitions, know the processes and what have you. Then, and later videos will come up on this, then you should look at the differences in the river courses, so upper, middle, lower. So the characteristics, the shape, the size, the depth, the width, all that stuff. Only then can you really look at flooding. So what causes flooding? What are the effects of flooding? What are the responses to flooding? Having studied extreme weather and the floods from Somerset already, that will help you really. So know about, flooding causes in the urbanized area versus causes in a more rural area, the differences between that and saturation and infiltration. Again, all these key terms we'll come on to later. And then the last one is your case study, really. So know about Banbury, know about how an area has actually defended against a river, know how an area has actually protected, has spent money. Break that down into economic, social, environmental, political, and all that stuff as well, good and bad, so you have enough to write about for in your case study. So yeah, context is the first one, key terms, definitions. Then look at flooding in different courses of the river, causes, impacts, and then know your case study. So know Banbury, know the good, the bad, the economic, social, some facts. The more you know that, the more numbers, stats you know for that, the better your answer will be. So that's the best way to be prepared in rivers. We'll come on to different river stuffs shortly, so there'll be later videos on that. But ultimately, you'll get a 4 or 6 marker on either how levees form, or how waterfalls form, or how Oxbow Lakes form, or about Banbury. So if you know how all those things work, their processes, then you're laughing. Any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll see you soon.